And we are live now, I guess. Hey, what is up, everyone? Drop a hello if you're watching. Let's wait for 5 more minutes. I will wait 5 more minutes and then we will start. Am I audible? Please. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the stream, games. Ooh, hello. Let's wait for, I guess, 3 more minutes. Then we'll start. Am I properly audible? Is the voice okay? Well, I don't know. It's still not 10 p.m., I guess. That's why. We'll just wait 3 or 4 more minutes, then we'll start, even if nobody shows up. So tell me about you, games. Are you a beginner in Rust or a beginner in Solidity? What are you trying to learn and so on? Beginner. So have you done any other Rust Solana courses or something? Because let me tell you honestly, I have not even compiled a single Rust program until now. So this will be a absolute beginner stream. We'll start from right from scratch. I think today the plan for today is at least to get this Rust setup up and running. Picture is that this is Green Soul. And the website link is green.soul or something. GREN.SOUL. So C and JS. Oh, okay. Well, still, it doesn't matter because we'll be starting from scratch. So I guess we have enough people now, and it's almost 10 p.m. So let me give you a brief about what we are going to do today. So as you might already know from the description of the announcement, we are going to do Rust Solana Quest from the Questbook itself, and we'll be starting from absolute scratch. And think that I haven't even compiled a single Rust program. So we'll be going through some of this video. So yeah, just tell me if you guys can hear
Hello
the
everyone,
audio.
this is Shreyansh from Questbook. In this quest, we'll be learning about Rust on our path to Solana. The series
Were you guys able to listen to the video that I just started? Wait up. Let me change the screen. Okay, it should be visible now. Just tell me, okay, if you
of
can
quests
hear
will
the
get you
audio or
acquainted
not.
with the basics of Rust and Solana to give you the ability to deploy your own smart contracts in no time. However, before we delve into the ever exciting realm of Solana, we must first understand the foundation upon which it is built, the Rust programming language.
Well, we don't need to go through the introduction. It's okay, we'll just start, you know. Let's just start installing Rust. Uh, yes, okay, cool, super cool. Awesome. So, let's just go to the Rust website and let's just start installing it. Rust lang. I don't even have it on my machine. Okay, install. Using Rust up. It looks like you're running Linux. So I'm currently learning Linux. So let's see how to install it on Linux. I think we need to download this script and run it. Okay, seems simple enough. Let's just do it. Let me open up the terminal. Do we need any other libraries before we install this? Let's see other installation. It doesn't seem like we need anything else. Hey folks, if you are watching, just drop a hi so that I can know. And just feel free to ask any question, any question. I won't be able to answer it. I will just Google it up. Because as you know already, I'm a beginner. Okay, let's install Rust. Okay, proceed with installation, default, customize. Yeah, let's go with the default installation. Let's hope it doesn't mess up my system. So while it is installing, why don't you guys and girls tell me what is your level of Rust knowledge? Hey you, Devat, welcome to the stream, man. So I was just asking, what is your knowledge of Rust and Solana for that matter? Drop a number from 1 to 10 so that I can know what kind of audience is listening or watching the stream. Oh, that was quick. Rust is installed. Awesome. Okay. Beginner level. Oh, that's even better than what I am at. Awesome. Why don't you teach me as well? Can I hire you, buddy? I don't know. Right now, I have a lot of projects on my hand to get started. Intermediate Solana. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's nice to have you on stream. Maybe you can teach us, and if I get stuck or something. Hey. Welcome to the stream. Noob in both. I'm the noobest of noob in both. Rust is installed now. Okay, this will reload your path. Okay, I need to run this. Which Linux distro? It is Ubuntu, and I have installed. Yeah, I know, buddy. Chinese. Welcome to the stream. All right. I think Rust is installed. Oh, that was quick in Linux. I have heard some horrible things about being able to install Rust. So I guess we should start the quests now. Introduction to Rust. Let's start with a simple hello world. Nice distro. Yeah, thanks a lot. It's basic Ubuntu, but I have installed some themes on top of that. Introduction. So guys and girls, I will start the video now, and let me know if you guys can hear the audio or not. I will
Hello and
make
welcome
it
back,
low.
everyone. This is Shreyan from Questbook on the quest Introduction to Rust. Two parts. Selected website, as you can
Doing this on Windows is pain. Yeah, I can imagine. Doing a lot of things on Windows is pain. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
on getting
And that's why I switched to Linux and never looked back.
started for that.
Okay, I think we have already installed it, so let's skip
When
this
you
one. Start Python daily. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
into options code, what we'll do is within Rust are managed through a file called cargo.
Okay,
What
what
we'll
are
do
these?
first is we'll be
Creds?
hitting Shift Command X to bring up the extensions tab. We'll be searching
Drop a yes if you can hear the audio.
for crates here, and that will bring up this extension. Dependencies within Rust are managed through a
Okay,
file.
let's install this extension as well. Let me open up Visual Studio. New window. Awesome. All right, we need crates. Yep, awesome. Since windows are made from glass. Hello, that's pretty cool. Okay, apparently we need to install this extension. Great. Let's install it. Awesome. So, Daivat, what's your level of Rust knowledge? Have you dived in? Can you increase the volume a little bit? You mean the volume of my mic or the audio itself? Yeah, I will increase the audio for sure. Okay. Redson is installed. Let me open up a new file and a new terminal as well. Let's watch the video again.
File called cargo.toml, which we'll of course see in just the next
Is it
updates when
okay
we
now?
start writing our first
Was it better now?
programs. But first, let's get this installed. First extension downloads is the again. I already installed this, but feel free to click the install button here and
Okay, Rust. I need to install Rust as well. Why do I need to install Rust? Video, yeah. I have practically no experience with Rust. Yeah, I have heard as well. They are similar. But no, I mean there are many peculiar things in Rust. You know, it seems like it's much more complicated than even C++. Better. Okay, great. Let's install this. What is it? By the way, Rust provides lints and code completion. All right, that would be helpful. C++ on steroid. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's even cooler than C++. No, I like the logo as well. It looks cool. Okay, we have this installed as well. What is next? Your first Rust program. Awesome.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is your Quest Master Shreyansh on the Quest Introduction to Rust. In this specific subquest, we'll be starting with our first Rust program. We'll see how Cargo scaffolds a folder for us which contains the necessary code, or rather just the introductory code to write any application, and sets up a couple of other things for us. We'll be wrapping up by actually executing our program and checking the output. From our development environment, let's first go into the terminal wherein we'll type cargo new hello world tag bin. This will create a new folder called hello world in your current directory. In this
Okay. Cargo new hello world test as pin. Let's do that. Okay, let's go inside some folder. Code stuff. Blockchain. Awesome. Let me make a directory called Rust Solana. Into Rust and Solana. Okay, what do I need to type? Cargo new hello world bin. Let's see if cargo is installed properly or not. Dude, yes, you should start with Rust as well. Private. There are a lot of opportunities in Rust, because it's such a nascent ecosystem. A lot of opportunities for developers like us. Hello world. Dash pin. I hope I wrote the. Okay, it's correct. Awesome. That was quicker. Created a folder. Hello world. Let's open it up. It's got something like npm. Yeah, I think cargo is similar to npm, and crates are similar to packages, I think. I don't know if I'm correct or not. Maybe someone more experienced than me can correct me. By the way, I have to keep on typing this command because I have this set up in my ZSH that the node doesn't start automatically. Anyway, let's continue.
In this case, my current directory is code. If you notice, Cargo has automatically created a new folder for us called Hello World. If you open this folder, there is one folder within it called src or source, and two other files, gitignore and cargo.toml. Let's start with gitignore. Gitignore is responsible for ensuring and telling Git that anything within the target folder, which you don't see right now, but it will be there in just a bit when we compile our program or when my extension on this editor compiles the program. This directory will be created. The contents of this directory are build artifacts or pieces of compiled code created by the Rust compiler. Second is cargo.toml. Recall from subquest 2b that we installed the crates plugin on VS Code to manage this. This file contains the metadata about the application, in this case the name, version, and edition, followed by dependencies. You will see this section get filled up with dependencies as and when we start using external libraries, or as they are called in the Rust world, crates. Let's move on to the source folder, within which we have just one specific file called main.rs. For people coming from a Java background, this might seem a little familiar, since source is essentially the folder which contains all of your application code. However, we just have a flat folder structure here with just one file called main.rs. Care should be taken to ensure that this file, the entry point to your application, is always named main.rs, followed by the name of the function, which is the entry point within your application. In an application, for example, in Java, you have a public static void main. In this case, it's simply main, which does not return anything. The fn declaration, the function declaration, the keyword declaration, as well as the variable declaration is something which we'll see in the next part of this course. Right now, just understand that we have
Okay,
the
how can I
fn keyword to
compile
denote
it?
its function, followed by the name, by any return type. Again, in this case, nothing. In a later sub. world folder which was created by us. And then we'll be running cargo run.
Cargo run. That's it. Okay. Let's run it then. Okay, we are inside the folder. Let's run it. Cargo run. Tired of centering leaves. Yeah, man. Even I like backend much more. In fact, that's why I like blockchain that much, because it has a lot of backend stuff to learn. And it's even cooler to build UIs on top of blockchain stuff. So it keeps me motivated. Okay. Whoa. So we have successfully run our first Hello World program. Awesome. That's the code, by the way. Okay. Because we are learning this for Solana, we should write Solana, isn't it? Okay, should I compile it first or just run it? Let's see. Oh, so apparently it compiles and runs it. This is awesome. That is not how you do it. Centering this is definitely a pain in the ass. Okay, so let's watch on.
And as you can see, hello world has been printed out to our console. If you also notice, there are a couple of information which you may find useful. For example, this is an unoptimized build and also contains debugging information. Debugging information essentially means that it contains the name of the functions, the name of the variables as they were written in code. Lastly, you will see a new artifact has been created, the hello world binary artifact under the debug folder. If you were to create it for a release, which is a production release, which again we'll get into in a later subquest, this will change. We can also execute the program after compiling by going to target, debug.
Why do we have this?
Excellent.
This is weird.
Alright then.
This is pretty weird. Why do we have exclamation mark here? Don't you think it is weird? I'm already getting red flags. What the hell is this? An exclamation mark in the function itself. Oh boy.
That's all for this subquest. I hope this excites you just enough to get started with Rust. In the next.
Okay, let's watch the next one. I quickly want to get over with this introduction, so that we can get started with cool stuff like this one, where we are going to build a crowdfunding platform on Solana. This would be even cooler than just learning this bare bones syntax. The print function reminds of the C one. Oh yeah. I think I mean Rust is pretty much low level, so you'll definitely get a gist or a flavor of C and C++. Shorten function definition. What do you mean by that? Shorten function definition.
Hello and welcome back everyone. This is your quest master Shreyansh on the quest Introduction to Rust.
Okay, I hope you
in
guys.
In this subquest we'll be looking.
I hope you guys don't mind me increasing the speed because it's too much slow.
Looking at variables and a little bit on immutability. Immutability is what makes Rust different from the whole host of other languages. Let's discuss variables. Variables are essentially boxes which hold a function or the pair of variables to use the let keyword followed by the name and an optional value. We'll use the println macro to print this out using the formatting directive, which is in the form of a curly brace. We'll then move over to our terminal and try running this, and as you can see, it prints out the value of 4 is 4. So let's recap. You declare a variable by using the let keyword, where the name of the variable is the one on the left.
Let. So it's similar to JavaScript as well. Fn. Nice. Fn.
You follow that with the initial value of that variable. You can, of course, also have variables where you do not define an initial value, but those are very seldomly used within the Rust world. So variables in Rust are actually very, very special. In that, they're not really...
Wait, what the hell? We have... This even looks like Java. Public static void main string args. This looks exactly like Java.
Variable.
Yeah, let's
the initial value is let's recap. You declare a variable is to use the let keyword followed by the name and an optional value. We'll use the println macro to print this out using the formatting directive, which is in the form of a curly brace. We'll then move over to our terminal.
Okay, let's try to print a variable. Let x equal to 4. We need to use curly brace x. Let's try to run it. Awesome. Lol. It is Java, I definitely think.
Terminal and try running this.
Once I saw the code, that class code, I was like, what the hell?
And as you can see, it prints out the value of 4 is 4. So let's recap. So variables in Rust are actually very, very special. In that, they're not really variables. You cannot change their values by default. Let's see this with an example. We'll declare a very simple function where we'll assign a variable x to the value hello world, and we'll print that out. And following that, we'll reassign it to something like hello Questbook. If you were to print this out, you'll notice that this will print out the reassigned
Wait, no, this is actually Java. It is Java, yes.
value. In this case,
Thank
hello
God, thank God it is Java. It's not Rust.
Which is the standard understanding or rather intuition of how variables should work. However, if I had to do something very, very similar in Rust, if I were to reassign the value to 5, you'll see that this gives an error. It says that the variable cannot be assigned twice.
This is cool.
If you were to run this code, you'll notice the whole host of warnings and errors generated. I want to talk about the Rust compiler here in that it tells you everything which you need to know in order to fix the error. In this specific case, it's telling us that there is an unused assignment and it is overwritten without being read. In the second one, which is our...
Let's try to mutate the variable. X equal to 5. Cannot assign twice to immutable. So by default, variables are immutable. That is cool. So I think that is one of the good things of Rust. It provides a lot of safety features like that.
Our error, it also tells us how to fix the error by making this binding mutable. If you were to copy and paste the command given by the Rust compiler, you'll see not only what the error is, but also an explanation on how to fix it, followed by examples of the wrong code and the right code. So in this case, it's asking us to add a specific keyword called mute. Let's try that out. So let's make this variable mutable by adding the mute keyword after the let. I'll also copy and paste the println macro just after the reassignment with a couple of changes. Let's rename the variable to x and let's also add the word reassigned. Now, if you were to try running this, you'll see that the value of 4 is 4 and the reassigned value of x is 5, which means that we've fixed our error. Now let's recap here. All variables by default are immutable in Rust, which means you cannot change their value.
Mute keyword. Oh wait, why is it still giving this error? Maybe it is overwritten before. Is never read. Oh, okay, it is complaining about this. It's not an error, just a warning because we are not using this variable after reassigning. That's awesome. Compiler seems helpful enough.
In order for you to change their value later down in your program or in your function, you need to mark the variable as mutable by adding the mute keyword in the declaration.
Types. Yeah, we'll quickly run through the types as well. We don't need to mess around with it.
Hello and welcome back everyone. This is the Quest Master Shreyansh on the Quest Introduction to Rust. In this specific subquest, we'll be talking about types. Recall from the previous subquest, a variable is a box which holds some value. In this case, we'll give it an i32 type, which is a signed 32-bit integer. An integer is a number which is not contained in decimal. Just as a sanity check, we'll also print this out in a way we are quite familiar. We'll print this out using the println macro where we'll say the value of the variable is something and we'll bind it to x. Let's run this and we see that the value of the variable is 5. What I'm doing here is that I'm writing some code to print out the type of any variable I want. You don't need to worry about how it works right now. Let's check if everything works as expected. We'll call x.printType, which in this case, because it is explicitly annotated, should be i32. Let's move on to our terminal and let's run this. We see that the type is i32, which means it works. Now, what would happen if I were to remove the i32 declaration? So let's try removing this and we'll run this code yet again. So in the terminal, cargo run, and we see that the type is i32 yet again. This is because of something we call type inference. The way type inference works is that the Rust compiler automatically...
Yo, it's cool, man. It's cool. Thanks for dropping by. See you again. Have a good night.
Assumes the type of a variable based on how it's being used, where it is being used, and what you want to do with it. In this case, the compiler decided that i32 is the best type which we can give to the x variable. Let's talk about something called dynamic typing, in that how variables can automatically change their types based on what you assign to them. In this case, x starts as a number, we'll print out the value followed by the type, which in JavaScript you do with something called the type of operator. Let's not forget to call this function later on. And following this, what I'll do is I'll reassign the variable x to something like a string, let's say hello world, and we'll print out the of x is 5, hello world, the number type and the string type has changed accordingly. Let's try doing something similar in Rust. We have a variable x, let's mark it as mutable, and let's try changing it to, let's say, again, a string. And what you will see that it gives an error, expected integer, found a string slice. Why is that? That is of something called static types, which means that you cannot change the type of a variable once you've declared or defined it. So just as a recap, you annotate the type of a variable using the colon syntax, you add the colon after the name of the variable followed by the type you want. So let's talk about how numbers are represented. In this case, I have an I8, which is an integer of 8 bits. It's a signed integer of 8 bits, which means that the first bit is used for sign, the next 7 bits are used for the number itself. So the sign can be 0 or 1, depending if it's a positive or a negative integer. Because I8 only uses 7 bits to represent the number itself, it can only have a value from minus 128 to positive 127. You might be wondering why not positive 128 as well. That's because of something we call the 2's complement, something which is outside the scope of this quest. Let's try this out in practice. I'll change the value 5 to 128 for an I8, and you'll see that it gives us literal out of range for an I8, which means that 128 isn't something which I8 can represent. We can fix this by making this an unsigned 8-bit integer. Now, if we were to remove the first bit, we now get 8 bits to represent our number itself. Let's try figuring out the type for this specific type of number. 64 or a 64-bit floating point number. Rust gives us the option to represent within the Unicode Boolean. Let's try Boolean type within a variable called x, and we'll give it the value of true. We also have the print. Booleans are mostly used for control flow. If y is true, print out that text. In this specific case, since only x is true, we'll only see.
Okay, let's watch this one. I'm gonna quickly run through all the remaining ones. Then we'll start this one, probably.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is your quest master Shreyansh on the quest introduction. Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is your quest master Shreyansh on the quest introduction to Rust. In this specific subquest, we'll be looking at composite built-in types. Now that we're in the code editor, let's talk about tuples. Tuples essentially return a set of values of different types. Let's look at this. We'll define a variable called a, which will contain, let's say, a number, a string, and let's also include probably a bool. Excellent. And what I'll do here is that I'll print this out, and we'll print out the first element of the tuple. The way you do that is by the dot index. So a.0 in this case becomes the first element. Let's run this, and there we go. The first value is 5. Excellent. Moving straight on. Similarly, let's try accessing the first two values. So I'll just modify the text a little bit to say two values,
what?
and I'll also include another.
You get the value using this type of syntax, a.0. Why not just use brackets? This is weird.
Format string here, and we'll do a.1 in this case, which is the second element. Let's run this again, and excellent. We see the first two values, which are 5 and hello world. There are a couple of ways of accessing these values in a tuple. The first one we saw is to just assign it to a variable. In this case, we'll do val1 and val2, which will represent the first two elements within that tuple. Let's print that out and let's see what we get. We'll say the first value is something and the second value is something, and we'll fill that in with the variables we defined previously. So in this case, val1 and val2. Let's move on to our terminal and let's see what we get. Excellent. The first value is 1 and the second value is 2. It works like it's expected. Let's see the second option, which is also called destructuring. In this case, we try to create a tuple on the left and a tuple on the right. So in this case, I'm creating val1 and val2, a tuple on the left, and a is a tuple on the right. You'll see it gives an error where it says that the tuples need to contain 3 elements, but it only found 2. It needs to match the number of elements you have in the tuple you're trying to destructure, in this case a. So let's just add an underscore here to ignore the other value. Let's copy and paste the other macro here, and this should...
Okay, so this destructuring is similar to JavaScript. Cool.
work just as expected. Let's try it again, and there we are. As expected, it works. Let's talk about arrays next. Now, arrays also return a set of values, albeit of the same type. The way you define an array is through the square bracket notation. So in this case, we'll see a square bracket followed by a couple of I32 values. The way you access these values is through the square bracket again. So we'll try accessing the first value again here with a at 0, which means the first element. Let's run this, and what we see is that the first value is 1. Moving straight on, let's say you have to declare an array which contains the same element repeated a number of times. What we do for that is
wait up.
we define the... Moving straight on, let's
So to access the array elements, we use the brackets, but to access the tuple elements, we use dot notation. Okay, I get it now.
Declare an array which contains the same element repeated a number of times. What we do for that is we define the array, but this time the first element becomes the value you want to repeat, and the second element becomes the number of times you want to repeat it. We'll print this out of the special formatting directive, which includes the colon and the question mark, which is just debugging. And let's try running this. And what we see here is that the array itself has been printed, which contains, again, the 10 zeros as we want to. To give a type to this array, we do something like this. Open the square brackets, we enter the type of the elements followed by the length. So in this case, I32 is the length of the element and 10 is the length of the array. You will also realize that the same concepts mutable. The elements followed by the length.
The type of the elements and the length of the array. Okay, and what about this one? 0, 10.
So in this case, I32 is let's try.
Okay.
Find the array, but this time the first element becomes the value you want to repeat, and the second element becomes the number of times you want.
First element is the value you want to repeat, and second is the number of times you want it to be repeated. Awesome.
We'll print this here as the array itself has been. the type of the elements followed by the length. So in this case, I32 is the length of every element and 10 is the length of the array. You should also realize that the same concepts of mutability apply to arrays as well. In this case, I'll try to mutate the first element and I'll try printing that out. As you can see, it gives an error saying that it is not declared as mutable. The simple way to fix this would be to just declare the array as mutable by adding the mute keyword, saving this, and I'll also update the text saying the updated value. Let's try running this, and it works now.
Okay, we are done with this one as well. Only 3 more to go. Then we'll start with cool stuff.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is a Quest Master Shreyansh on the Quest Introduction to Rust. In this specific subquest, we'll be discussing control flow. So we'll start off by discussing the if-else-if ladder. And to explain this clearly, I'll take an example where, let's say, if a number we define is 1, we print out u1. So let's start by declaring the variable itself. We'll call that num, of course, and we'll follow that with if num is double.
Hey Dinesh, welcome to the stream, man. How are you? Brother, what is your level of Rust knowledge? Let me know so that, you know, if I get stuck, you can teach me as well. We literally just install the Rust from scratch right in this stream. You didn't miss that much. I was just going through the first part of this building on Solana track.
Double equal to
Doing great. Awesome.
1, we'll print ln u1. Now the double equal to returns true if the number on the left hand side is equal to the number on the right hand side. Let's try executing this, and what we see is that because the condition equal to return.
So just like Python, you don't need to specify the brackets in the if sentence. That's awesome. And we need to write double equal to's for comparison. Beginner as well, never deployed on Solana. Yeah, I have never even compiled a Rust program until today, let alone deploying anything on Solana. So there you go. But we wrote our first hello world today. We didn't do much today. I just wrote this one, this function. It just prints 4. Pretty simple stuff.
Returns true if the number on the left hand side is equal to the number on the right hand side. Let's try executing this, and what we see is that because the condition matched, we printed out u1. Excellent. Moving on, let's say if the number is 1, we print out u1. Otherwise,
okay, let's just skip this. It's just if and else.
Now let's say we start from these two. Quickly there, we'll print out try again. 2, it'll be true. We see try again. Cargo run.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's it. Let's check the loops. I don't think we need to watch this that much as well. Loop.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is the Quest Master Shreyansh on the Quest Introduction to Rust. In this specific subquest, we'll be discussing about loops within Rust. So let's start with the loop construct. We'll say that we have a number which we'll multiply till the time the value of that number, in this case x, is less than 5,000. Let's start by declaring a mutable variable x which will contain our values. We'll start the loop, and anything between these curly braces will be run forever. In this case, we'll multiply the value of x by 2. We'll print that out using the println macro, as we're so familiar with by now. And finally, let's try running this. When we do cargo run, we see it prints out the values, but also it gives an error, attempted to multiply with overflow. Let's figure this out in code.
Okay, wait up. So this is like a never-ending loop. Why do we have that? A loop without any break statement.
We said that the condition should be till it is less than 5,000. Let's add an if condition, which we learned in the previous subquest, and the condition is met, we'll say break. Because the loop will go on forever, we need break. What break does is that it breaks out of the current loop, moving the control to the next line. In this case, we'll just do a very quick print ln to check if everything is working. Let's move on to the terminal and let's do a cargo run. We see all the values from 2 all the way up to 4096 are printed, after which we see outside the loop. Perfect. Let's talk about while loops next. While loops give us the ability to have the condition within themselves, which means that they execute a block of...
Okay, so we have a loop as well as a while loop. Why do we have a loop if we already have a while loop?
Code till the time some condition is met. In our case, this is the perfect use case because we have a condition which is x is less than 5,000. Let's discuss how would we write this loop as a while construct. So let's start by going down a little bit, and we'll say while some condition which needs to evaluate to true for this loop to run. So we won't write that right now, followed by curly braces. And this is where we write the code. Again, this will be the same as the last one. What I'll do is also I want to change the name of the variable so it's a little easier to distinguish which one is which. So here, let me just change the variable to y. Let me just declare the variable y. It'll be similar to x. And let me just change this here as well in the primary control logic. Let me scroll down a little bit here and I'll just clean up the lines of code which we are not using. Finally, all that is left for us is to figure out the condition. Now, if we scroll up, we see that we need to execute the piece of code till the value is less than 5,000. We broke out of the previous loop when it was more than 5,000, but in this case, we need to do it before. So in this, let's move on to the terminal and let's see what happens. The condition moving on, the line is executed, it's doubled, so 4096 times, and then the value of y is printed. Perfect. Last kind of loops we have available within Rust.
Okay, we also have for loops as
for
well.
Loops. They're a little different languages. For loops within Rust are almost exclusively used for iterating over a set of values. In this case, we're using the range syntax to generate ourselves a list from 0 to 9. The 10 is exclusive and printing that out.
So this is also similar to Python.
Let's go and run this in the terminal. We see that all the values from 0 to 9 are printed. So just as a reminder, this is the exclusive range syntax, which means every value from 1 less than the right-hand side, so the right is exclusive, is included in the range. Now, the question becomes, what if you had to make something a little more explicit, something which is a little more easier to understand the moment you set your eyes to it? There is a way to do that, and we'll look at that next.
Look at what next?
Now, we'll do the same thing. We'll say for y in 0 ... and we'll add an equal to. This means an inclusive range, which means the values from left and right are inclusive. So this should again print out all the values from 0 to 9. Let's try running this in the terminal with cargo run. We see all the values for x were printed from 0 to 9 in the exclusive syntax, and for y from 0 to 9 in the inclusive syntax. Great. You can also use the for loop with iterators, a concept which we'll discuss a little bit in depth later on. For now, suffice it to say, you can essentially run over all the elements within an array. In this case, we'll print out all the elements in the array we have defined here, 1, 2, and 3. In the terminal, we do cargo run, and we see it prints out the value is 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, that was a bit. I missed the last part.
Cargo run. We'll print out all the elements in the array we have defined.
Okay, it is just for running through each of the elements of an array. Got it. Okay, I think we have completed the whole quest.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is your quest master Shreyansh from the quest Introduction to Rust. In this specific subquest, we'll be talking about the match statement, which allows you to do exhaustive pattern matching. Let's start by declaring, in this case, catch all.
Okay, so it is similar to switch in JavaScript.
It means anything which is not defined in the branches comes here. So we'll just say the value of x is invalid.
Oh, but instead of default case, we have this syntax. Awesome.
Let's move into the terminal and do a cargo run. Because the value of x was 1, it prints that out. Great. Let's change it to 2 and let's try again. Cargo run, and we see the value of x is 2. Finally, we'll change this to something else. Let's say 3 in this case, and this branch should execute. We do cargo run again, and we see that the value of x is invalid. Exhaustive pattern matching basically means that all possible values for a given expression, or in this case a variable, should be accounted for in the match branches. Let's look at this a little more in detail by defining two variables which will contain bools. We'll say x and y, and we'll just set them to true. Let's try figuring out the truth table for this, which contains all possible combinations for this specific set of values. We'll start by when both are true. We'll also add when both are false. The third possible case I see is x is false and y is true, and similarly when x is true and y is false. Let's try writing an if-else ladder for this. Now, because these are only 4 conditions, writing all the possible outcomes should be fairly straightforward. But as you can imagine, the number of variables increase, so does the complexity. In our case, we have x and y are true, which means that the first branch of the if-else ladder should trip, and we should see x and y are true. Let's run this with cargo run, and we see x and y are true. Let's change y now, and we'll change that to false, which means the first condition follows through, the second does, and we now trip on the third one, which is else if x and not y, which would print out x is true and y is false. Let's do a cargo run again, and we see x is true and y is false. Now, as the number of variables increase, one might find that they forget to add possible outcome, which means that our if-else if ladder now does not cover all possible cases. What this could mean is that you might have bugs in your code which are extremely difficult to reproduce and debug. Let's see how math solves this issue. We'll start by declaring a tuple x and y. We're declaring a tuple because we have 2 possible values to match, and if this is the idiomatic way of doing things. We'll first add the first condition, true and true, and we'll print out x and y are true like we did before. We'll also add false and false, so the second condition is met. Let's try adding the third one, in this case, true and false, so we'll say x is true and y is false. Now, you might notice that the match statement is giving us an error. It says non-exhaustive patterns, false, true, not covered. So it forces you to think of all possible outcomes of a given expression. Let's fix this error by adding the last case, which is false and true. We'll also update the code here saying x is false and y is true. Perfect. Now, we can try running this in the terminal. Let's do a cargo run, and we see x is true and y is false. Perfect. Let's try
Nice.
changing the value here to true and true, do a cargo run again, and we see X and Y are true. Sometimes we want to ignore a case because our business logic calls for it. In this case, let's say we were to assume that X is false and Y is true is never possible. We'll delete that statement and we see it gives an error. How do you fix it? We can use the underscore branch or the catch-all branch and we'll just print out invalid combination. This should fix the error and this should also cover our bases. Now to trip this, let's change X to false and let's try running this in the terminal where we see invalid combination.
Okay, that was it. I think we should just get started with Solana Quest now. We should not just linger around in Rust that much. We'll just learn it on the go. Okay, let me take a quick pause. Hey folks, if you're watching, just drop a hello. Let me know what your level of knowledge is in Rust and Solana so that you can even teach me as well. So I just went through the whole playlist. There was not much. I mean, it was just basic syntax of Rust, loops and such things, but pretty basic stuff. But we have not yet started the cool stuff, that is Solana. So if you're watching, just drop a hi and we'll get started with Solana now. Okay, let's get started with Solana. So we have gone through the first quest, getting started with Rust. Let's start building a crowdfunding platform. Solana uses Rust. Yeah, we have gone through Rust. You also need to have command line understanding, node install. We already have node. With this prerequisites, you will be able to launch your crowdfunding platform on Solana blockchain. You can start crowdfunding and start accepting money. That would be cool. We'll cover the basics of how to write program on Solana and cover some fundamentals that come with it. The code we'll be writing is to run crowdfunding campaigns. All right. Users can request crowdfunding and others can send in money. Oh, that would be a cool app. Let's read the next subquest. Why on Solana? Yeah, pretty much basic stuff. Why not to write it in Web 2.0 and why write it in Solana? I think we all know why we should write it in Solana. We don't need to create a separate payment gateway like Razorpay or Stripe. Yeah, if we are in the Web3 space, we already know because all of these things are handled by the frameworks itself, either by the languages or by the frameworks. So I don't know if Rust supports. Yeah, I think Rust doesn't support payment gateway, but Solana supports. So what exactly is Solana? So Rust is the language, but Solana is the blockchain. But how does Solana give us this abstraction of payment? In a traditional Web2 crowdfunding Kickstarter, you need to send money to Kickstarter to honestly process. Are you seeing the code? Yeah, all the benefits that comes with building an app in Web3. You can look at the code, what it is doing, and yada. By writing code on Solana, you are not only telling the world what exactly you are doing with the money, but giving them the source code. But anyone can be sure that is the exact code that is being run. Okay, we get it now. Let's move on. Okay, we have to start writing codes now. Pull up your favorite code editor. To run a crowdfunding platform, we need to keep track of how much money each project is seeking. We'll store some text that will describe the crowdfunding platform itself. Public structure. Okay, what is a public structure? We didn't come across this syntax in the beginner's Rust track. So let's Google it. Pub struct. Mm, 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 mm. It's just like a struct in any other language, right? Low level of visibility, whatever that means. Hmm. The visibility defaults to private and can be overridden with public modifier. Huh, okay, okay. Let's not care about it that much. So we need to create a public struct. Okay, what's the syntax for private struct? Yeah, by default it is private, so there's no syntax, I guess. Right, public struct, campaign account. This is how you define a struct. Campaign owner. Wait up. But what about this one? Is this a variable? Yeah, this is the variable name and this is the type, I guess. Public key. This must be public key. So address of the owner, amounts is unsigned integer of 64 bits. Bytes? I don't know. Bytes, I guess. Of course, bytes. Campaign description, string. Okay, let's try to write this code and let's see if this runs. I'm not sure if it will run or not. Hmm. Into blockchain, Rust, Solana. Okay, do I need to run cargo before? What was the syntax of cargo? I forgot. Well, let's just hack it inside the hello world program itself. Okay, but I still don't know if we should write this inside the main function itself or outside the main function. It's not clear over here. Now that we are defined, let's just copy this and we'll write it in outside the function. Okay, it seems we don't have any syntax errors. Let's try to compile this and see if this runs or not. Not found in the scope. Yeah, I think that's what I expected because I guess we don't natively have PUBG as a type in Rust. So I think we need to install any packages for Solana or something. I don't know. They have not provided the instruction. Let's go to Solana's website. Solana website. Let's explore. Developers, read documentation. Let's read documentation. Yeah, let's start building. How do I build it? Okay. But how do I run this code? Do I need to install something? Command line. Ah, yeah, I think we need to install this Solana tool sheet. It should be mentioned in the quest, no? Let's check if they are providing the instructions somewhere or not. Doesn't look like we have the instructions for installing the script. Anyway, let's just go ahead and install the Solana tools, even though it is not provided in the quest itself. What is this? Install, open your favorite terminal, and I need to run this script. Download the script, install script, and run it. You can replace version with the release for matching the software version of your desired release. Yeah, let's just use a stable version. Let's first copy this and try to run it. No, we need a stable version, so let's write stable over here. Mm, let's see if this works or not. While it is installing, let's read. Um, you can, the following output indicates, okay, please update your path environment variables to include the Solana programs. If you get the above message, copy and paste the recommended command below it. Okay. We need to update the path. Let's see if we get this message or not. Let's wait for the installer. I think we should mention this installation in the quest itself. I don't know how we missed out. Anyway. Okay, let's wait for it. I think most of the time we are just going to do the installation and stuff. Oops, I messed up. Wait up. Did I download the... Okay, we have an installation for Linux and macOS using this method as well as directly downloading the binaries. Well, we just install it, so it's okay. Okay, exported path, close and reopen your terminal to apply the path changes. I will just run exit and we should be good to go. Okay, let's see if Solana is installed or not. Oh, what the hell? Okay, I think I need to restart it. Anyway, let's just restart it. It should run now. Solana version. Huh. Oh, wait. What? Maybe the path variables are not set properly. Let me check. CSH. It should be set properly. I don't know why this is not working. Let me try to go the path variable. Where should it install? Alright, so I was saying the configuration should be inside home and Solana. Alright, let's check if something is there or not. Solana. Oh, it seems we don't have anything. What? It's not even installed? The hell? Whoa, 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 whoa. Solana should be here. Okay, let's try to run this installation script again. Install is up to date. Okay, it says that installation is up to date. And we have correctly set the path as well. Then in that case, it should run this Solana. Why is it not? Wait, I have... No, why this is not running? It should run now. Okay, let's try it now. No, not Solana. Which Solana? Solana not found. Do we even have the binary here? Let's check. Home dot local share Solana. Huh. Okay, it seems we do have active release when, and there we go. We have Solana. Huh. Maybe it is because of ZSH. Let me copy this and paste it in the ZSH file itself. This up to this. Oops. Let's copy this. Let's open up the CSHRC. Let's find path. Okay. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this. Export path equal to we'll paste this over here, and after that colon path. I think this should work now. We have exported this. We exported the path of the Solana installation. Let me move this last. Let's try to run it. Exec zhh. Please run. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we have successfully installed Solana. Okay, now the issue is how do we run this program with the pub key? It seems that says that it's not found. Huh. What do I need to do to make it compile? Is it a Solana specific syntax or Rust pub key? Let's Google it out. Pub key, Rust or Solana. How to convert a public key, Solana anchor. Let's read some docs as well. Deploying a program. No, wait, this is for deploying the program. We don't want to deploy it. We want to first run the program. Wait, what is this? Solana key and public key. Connecting to clusters, sending and receiving. Oh man, this is quite complicated. It's not even mentioned in the quest itself that how should I run it. Hey folks, if you are watching, just drop a hello, hi, whatever. Let me know how you all are doing. And help me out if you know how to run this program, because I'm clearly struggling to run this. We'll create an account for each campaign. All these accounts. Yeah, I get it. This is how we create a campaign account. But how do I run this program? Maybe we don't have to run it right now. Let's just read on. Let's go to the next quiz. Now that we have defined our data structure is, we need to write logic that will operate on the data itself. Okay. Every program must have an entry point that will be called each time user wants to interact with the code we have written. All the users will hit this one endpoint and our code should execute different logic based on the data that is sent to this endpoint. If the data says new campaign, it should create a new campaign. If the data says fun campaign, the code should execute that logic. We'll do this with the sequence of if-else. This function is called the process instruction. Program ID is the identifier of the program itself. Alright, so let's just write this code here. I think let's just get rid of this. Let's write the function. Function is a public process instruction program ID ampersand. Oh, what does that mean? Does it mean it is a reference to public key? I don't know. The syntax of Rust is pretty weird. Addition, account info. Right. Data of you. Whoa. In this case, okay, these are the types. Okay. Wait, and this, it's not a curly bracket, it is a rounded bracket. Huh. I don't get the syntax of Rust. It's weird. Program, don't know what I'm typing at all. Okay, program result. The program ID is the identifier for the program itself. All right. When you want to call a program, you must also pass this ID so that Solana knows which program is to be executed. What does that mean? Okay. The second parameter is this function. Okay, if this is a function, where is the function body? Or is this just like an interface of the function? What does this mean? Does this mean that it returns program result? This arrow? Yeah, maybe that is the case. Is an array of accounts that will be operated upon in this program. Gotcha. Every user on Solana has a unique account. Okay, understood. Every code that you write and deploy also has a unique account. Every code that you write and deploy is a unique account. Okay, so it is same as Solidity, where each smart contract has a unique address or an account here as well. Okay, so they have decided to call the contracts over here as just a program. Got it. An account can store money in a currency called lampots. Ah, that is a cool name. Lampots. We can transfer lampots from one account to another. So I wonder what is the difference between lampots and Sol, the, the Solana currency. You know, in Ethereum we just have Ether, which is also the native currency of Ethereum. But here we have lampots as well as Sol. Okay, let's write it down. We can transfer lampots from one account to another account. What does that mean? Yeah. When you send a user some money, they can spend it however they want. If you send money to the account operated by a program, that program can use that money defined in the logic of the code itself. Okay. So coming back, the second parameter to our process function is the list of accounts that will be operated upon in this code. If the function is called to create a new campaign, you need to create a new account, and for this campaign send that as a parameter. Send what as a parameter? I think the accounts as the parameter. If you are calling this function to fund a campaign, the array will contain the account of the funder and the account of the campaign being funded. The data is the last parameter. The data tells what the function needs to do and all the data that is required to execute the logic. So this is the entry point to a Solana program. Let's move on. Okay, after that we need to write if-else logic. Defining the instruction. Whatever you want to do in this program will be processed by the same function, process instruction. But we have multiple things that this function needs to be able to do, including creating a new campaign and adding funds to a campaign. To differentiate between the operation we want to execute, we'll send an identifier in the data parameter. In this parameter. Okay, and it is of type unsigned integer of 8 bytes, which is basically an array of bytes. We'll assume that the first byte of this data tells us what instruction to run. So what we are doing is, first we are splitting first function on the data, then unwrapping it, and on instruction byte and all other bytes. So it's like destructuring the bytes itself. But how do we specify that this will be the first byte? Because it says right here the first byte tells us what instruction to run. And where should I even write this code? I don't get it. This is the skeleton of a program. Yeah, this skeleton, but where should I write this? What the hell? Should I open up with the curly braces and write this or what? Let's try to write it like that. Instruction, instruction, byte, all with the bytes, and we're getting the data variable, calling the split. Oh, okay, yeah. So we are calling split for first function. So that's why it should give us first byte here in the tuple. Understood somewhat. What the hell is up with unwrap function? Okay, after that, if star I star of instruction byte. Oh, okay, so this is like referencing the value of, so this should store the address and we can reference the value using asterisk, pretty much similar to C. We check if the byte is 0. If the byte is 0, then the code should be for creating a campaign. Got it. And else if, nice, similar to JavaScript. If the oops, if the byte is 1, we should have the logic for funding a campaign. Else if the instruction byte equal to 2, then we should have the logic for get how much funds are left to reach the requested account. Okay, so as far as I have understood, this is the entry point or the entry function that will be called, and inside the data we'll have the first byte as the instruction byte, which we are getting it from the data, and we are checking if the first byte is 0. If it is 0, we should call the, or we should do the logic for creating the campaign. If it is 1, we should do for the logic for the for funding a campaign, and if it is 2, how much funds are left to reach the requested amount. Got it. And if the instruction byte is 3, withdraw all collected funds and campaign. Do a rug pull. Lol. Withdraw all collected funds and close campaign. Got it. This is the skeleton of our program. So since the first quest, I have been just writing the code. We have not even ran this code. I don't even know if the syntax is correct or not. Easy peasy. Of course, it is easy to just write the code, but how do I run it now? Let's hope we get the instruction for running as well. To create a campaign, we need to send the account info of the person creating this campaign in our accounts parameter. Ah, So here we are assuming that one person can have only one campaign. Got it. So we'll have the campaign owner's account in the accounts array itself. Let's first parse the accounts. Let iterable accounts. What is this? What? Accounts dot iter, and we are assigning this modifier mutation modifier. We are getting the address or something, 10%. This lets us fetch the account one after another. Oh damn, Rust. So to get the info out of the way of the array, we have to do this shit. And we are supposed to write this code inside create campaign. So I guess here. So let's just create iterable accounts equal to ampersand mutation accounts iter. Got it. After that, campaign account. Okay, we are supposed to have the campaign account in the first element itself, right? So we call next account info. Where are we getting these functions from? I don't even know. It's writing. Let's just try to shoot in the dark. Iterable accounts. Let me hydrate. I mean, drink water. The first account in the accounts array will be the campaign we want to operate upon. Either to create a new campaign or to fund an existing campaign. This either to okay. Okay, so I guess this code will be reused in this function as well. And shouldn't we have it over here? I guess. This owner will also be the same person who will be able to withdraw the funds later. Got it. The amount that this campaign is requesting and the description will be in the data itself. Wait, where is the rest of the data? Huh? In the previous subcast, where did we define the rest of the data? Where is this variable defined? We did not define anything. Are they talking about this? Oh yeah, I think they're talking about this because we have this description here. It's requesting. Oh, okay. The amount requested amount is this one, I guess. The first byte was the operation code. The next 4 byte will be the amount. Wait a minute. Where do we have this variable? Are we missing any code or something? Because I'm sure I did not write the rest of the code variable anywhere. Excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. So I was saying, we did not even write the logic for this one. The rest of the data. The hell is this? Rest of the data get double dots 8 and then slice try into okay map unwrap. What the hell? What kind of weird syntax is this? Wait, I think we are definitely missing some code somewhere. Let me check into the docs itself. Give me a second while I check into the docs. I think we are missing some code over here. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Let me see what is the issue. Because I think we're definitely missing some code. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, we are doing the campaign one, campaign quest. Check the doc itself. Are we missing any code? Deploying, setting up campaign account. Wait, which quest is this? Setting up campaign account. No, that's not the one. Building a crowdfunding platform. Building crowdfunding. Launching. It seems like we don't even have the docs. Anywho, let's just. Okay, finally we have the whole file. Yeah, let's just look at the whole file. Oh, that's why we need to have this use Solana or whatever. Then we can run on all of this. Oh, see. We needed to write all of this code inside the curly braces itself. See, I told you. Told you. That means we are missing some major code in the quest itself. No wonder people were complaining about it. Okay, so let me refactor this program. All of this should be inside the braces itself. Can I format this? No. Seems the formatter is not working on the Rust. Why is that? Rest of the data. I still don't get what. All other bytes. Oh, so it is all other bytes, not the rest of the data. So that's why we were getting confused. So the name of this variable should be rest of the data. Man, we need some major changes in this quest itself. I will be changing a lot of this code. No wonder people have been complaining about it. Let me rewrite this as rest of data. This should work fine now, and let's move on. Okay, create the campaign. So this is the code that we need to write in here. Oh, okay, so this thing should be outside of this. I knew this was common code. But why does this code look different from this one? Iterable account. Okay, we have just changed the name of the variables. Everything else seems same, I guess. Let's write this for this variable as well. Let amount equal to rest of the data dot get. What is this right here? What is this 8? And what is get? Google it. Get rust. Huh? Vector. What the hell is a vector? We have get and then. What kind of weird syntax is this? And then. So we apparently have a slice keyword inside two vertical bars. What? Slice dot try. Let me break this code so that it is visible. Code is try into okay and dot map what you int 64 double colon from lay bytes least ending bytes. I don't know. Alright. Okay, what does it do? The first byte was the operation code. So 8 means this is the number of bits, I guess. Right? Yeah, this must be the number of bits. 8. The next 4 bytes will be the amount. Huh. What is this? The slice. I think this is just trying to get the next 4 bytes. What? Oh, wait. No, the first byte was the operation code. Okay, they are talking about this, which we already got it from the data. So now this rest of the data contains the amount and the, right? It will contain the amount. No, wait, not this. It will contain the amount and rest of the bytes. So this syntax apparently it, let me give some indentation over here. I don't know how that will help, but whatever. Rest of the data get 8. What is that? Hmm, whatever. Let's just move on. After that, we need to get the description out of the data. So this part is just for getting the data out of the data and convert it into proper format. And we are working with very low level. We are getting into the bits and bytes, literally. What kind of syntax is this? So we'll specify the type, double colon from UDF8, and I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. I don't know, should I complete the whole? Yeah, let's just complete the whole stuff, and after that we'll wrap up. UDF8, rest of the data, and 9. Okay, so the amount was up to 8, and from 9 to the ending. Why 8 though? It says that the 4 bytes. But if the first 4 bytes are the bits for the bytes for the amount, there should be 4, no? Why is this 8? This is from 9, and we're converting it to vector or something. And again, we are unwrapping it. I'm just shooting in the dark. I don't even know what I'm typing. I hope it will all make sense. Now we need to create a campaign object and store it in our program data hash map. Where is the program data hash map? We have not yet created it. We need the key for this campaign. The key for this campaign needs to, okay, so we have a data structure, a hasmap data structure for storing the campaign data, and we need the key to store that data. What will be that key? The key will be unique. Every account has a public and private key. The public key also has an also called address is akin to your username. So I guess that will be the key in the hasmap. Private key is something we'll look at a little later, but it is similar to the password for this account. We had earlier seen that an account can store lampposts, that is money. But an account can also store data. The account for this campaign will store the data that we define in the struct called campaign account. This one. And I guess we'll store this struct as a value inside that hasmap. Makes sense. Okay, so the overall logic of it is making sense to me, like what we are trying to do here. The only thing that doesn't make sense is the syntax part itself. Yeah, so we'll have to work on it. But an account can also store data. We already saw this. The account for this campaign will store the data that we define in the struct called campaign account. Campaign account data. Huh. Let's look at this code file. Campaign owner account. Campaign owner account. Next account info. What? Oh yeah, this syntax is for getting the campaign, I guess. Campaign account dot data dot borrow and question mark. What? This is pretty weird syntax. How much longer have we been streaming? It's been 1 hour and 45 minutes. All right, let us. Okay, but where should I write this code? And this code is very much different from, let's say, this code. I guess we should just follow this code. Yeah, let's do that. Campaign owner account equal to next account info. Got it. Wait, but we already got the campaign account here, no? Why do we need to call it second time? This variable will already have it. And by the way, I did not write the question mark. What is up with the question mark? Anyway. Anyway, let's just copy what is written in the quest. Accounts eater. Do we have an accounts eater variable? We had it here, but here it is called account iterable accounts. So we need to keep that in mind. But that's exactly the same thing that we did here. I think the whole stream I have been just cursing Rust. Just doesn't make sense. Campaign account data. No wonder Rust developers are pretty rare. Wait, why is this not highlighted properly? Whatever. Star campaign. No, let me just copy it. Why am I writing it out? Let's just see what we are doing just first. We are calling the owner. Okay, we are calling the owner to get this, I guess. Oh, okay. The accounts contain the owner accounts, right? So that's why. Oh, I get it. Is that the reason we are calling? We are doing this second time. So if this next account info is like an iterator and it just gives us the next value, then this should give us a different value, no? So this is the campaign account itself and this is the campaign owner account. So are these two things the different things or what? I think first account will be the campaign. Okay, okay, good. It's just campaign owner account, campaign owner, setting the amount to this amount. After that, we get the description and we assign it over here. We assign 0 to campaign fulfilled. Wait up, we don't have fulfilled. Oh yeah, we do have. And I think 0 means false. That means the campaign is not over yet. That must be the case, I guess, because it's a new campaign. This instruction is for the new campaign itself, I guess. Wait up, wait up, wait up. the syntax. Let me not mess up the syntax. It's called count dot owner. Got it. And after that, what we are doing is we are calling campaign account the data dot borrow mutation or multiply. Now what is this? Rushed question mark symbol. What does it mean? Whoa, I don't want this Rust. I want the Rust language. Just give me the question mark symbols description. Whoa. So that's why we had this symbol in the println function. Macro expansion or something. But what about question mark? Let me find question mark. Okay, it's a error propagation. Huh. So is it kind of an error catching mechanism? Error propagation? What is that? And what does this mean? Is this like a spread operator? To write exclusive. Oh, yeah. Exclusive. Okay, let's copy this code and paste it. Yep, that's what we are going to do for the first quest. We will be just copying and pasting the code because I don't understand the code at all. Okay, this is done. Return on the function using OK. When are we returning the function? Oh, it's here at the very end. We are returning from the function. Okay. I must say the syntax is awesome. Wait, so the semicolons are not compulsory in Rust because it doesn't seem like there's a semicolon over here. Huh. Once a campaign is made, let's check its status using instruction code 2 in our if else collector. We'll assume the user who is requesting this information will send the account of the owner. We'll send the account of the owner of the campaign using the accounts parameters just like before. We'll print the amount left to be collected using message. Understood some of the core elements. I did not understood a lot of elements, to be honest. But let's check the skeleton for instruction by 2. That's nothing. Wait, are they talking about instruction code 1? Because this code is inside instruction 1. Yeah, so I think this should be 1. Oh, this quest needs some major changes, I think. A lot of errors, I guess. Okay, I think this is changing the meaning. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I think what? So over here, instruction byte 1 will be the status of the campaign. Yeah, whatever. Let's just have it as the status. Fund the campaign. Let's delete it. Let's write get campaign status. No. What the hell is this message function for? Campaign account data dot campaign amount minus campaign account data campaign fulfill. Oh, okay. So the campaign fulfill variable keep tracks of the amount that is deposited, the amount that has been collected. Yeah, that is the case. Okay, so even though I don't get the status, the syntax itself, I am getting the gist of it. Doesn't seem that much complicated, I guess. Now that we have written some logic, let's make sure we write all other boilerplate subs so that we are able to actually compile. Okay, now we get to the boilerplate code through which we'll be able to get this stuff, pub key and such things. Okay, so I'm guessing that we don't we didn't actually need to install this should for this quest itself. It is needed for deploying, so I guess but yeah, it's good that we install it. I think we will be needing it in the deploying your program to Solana, so that's awesome. Let's write this boilerplate code. This is kind of an import statement, I guess. Use Solana program. Oh, from a crate. So this is like a package. Nice. Use Solana program. Got it. Accounts. Account info. Is this like a function or a variable or a type or something? Oh, yeah. So we are exporting or importing these things which we are using here. Account info and so on. Got it. Got it. Got it. Account info. So first we have used it and now we are trying to import it. That is just awesome. Entry point. Entry point. So I think this is like a parent package and these are the functions or the variables that were exported, I guess. Program result, message, message is part of this as well. Program error. Program. I guess we are not using this yet. Pub key. Yeah. Yeah, definitely using pub key. Pub key. Wait. This should be capital K, right? Let's check the code. Okay, it is small key, not capital actually. Let's just change it here. Got it. And what about this? I guess we are not using. We also need to tell the compiler to make our program data structure to be storable. Which program data? Where is the program data structure? The way to store this data onto the Solana persistent storage is to serialize it. We'll use serializer called the Bosch serializer. Okay, now we use this Bosch serializer. Bosch serialize. After that, tell the compiler that the struct program data can be serialized and deserialized using this library by including the following line above the program data struct. But where is the program data struct? Is it this one? I guess. Yeah. The syntax. So we are telling the compiler that this struct can be serialized. Wait, it is called program data campaign account. What? Lastly, define which function is to be called when someone is trying to interact with our program. This we do using the entry point function that the Solana program exposes. Got it. So let's write the entry point. Entry point function. Process instruction is the entry point function. Okay, that is it for the syntax part. What after that? Are you going to deploy or compile this or what? We have now seen how to write code in Solana. In the two quests that will follow, we'll look how to deploy and run. Okay, so we are going to see how to run this code in the next quest itself. We'll transfer money. Awesome. I guess this was a cool experience writing this program. I mean, I think I don't even understand 40% of the code. So, but we'll get there. Doesn't look that much difficult. And I guess this is it for the stream. It's almost 12 a.m. here. So we have been streaming for exactly 2 hours. I think this is enough for one stream. And we are done with the two quests itself. We have done this, getting started with Crushed and building a crowdfunding platform. So in the next stream, we'll see how to deploy our program to Solana, how to compile and deploy it. All right. So I guess I will see you folks in the next stream. Bye bye. Take care. Keep learning. Bye bye.